During the school's annual health inspection, students line up to have their height and weight checked. When Sae's turn comes, she feels embarrassed as the professional calls out her measurements. Afterward, her friends immediately crowd around to ask about her results. Feeling insecure, Sae tries to avoid them, but in her rush, she stumbles and accidentally breaks the door. Noticing her state, Koki approaches her with concern, helping her up and handing back her checkup form without even looking at it. They exchange a brief goodbye, and Sae quickly fixes the broken door in seconds, astonishing her friends. As they watch Koki leave, her friends begin whispering about how cool he looks, speculating that he might be a player. Sae immediately denies it, insisting he's not like that. Her friends then recall that Sae and Koki went to the same elementary school. Sae admits that even back then he was already cool, but he's changed a lot since. In truth, Koki wasn't just a classmate to her, he was also her first love. It's a long story, but what Sae remembers most is that she used to be the tallest in her class. Despite her height, she was quite cute, and students from higher grade levels adored her. They would often gather around her, fascinated by how excited she got over school lunches. While everyone was buzzing around Sae, her attention was drawn to a timid boy nearby. He looked shy, and his mom had mentioned that he didn't eat much and was scared of milk. Curious, Sae approached him and asked if he was allergic to milk. He admitted that he just didn't like it, so she offered to drink his milk for him. That moment sparked their friendship, but for Sae, it felt like love at first sight. From that day on, she always drank milk for two. They ended up becoming classmates for 6 whole years, often sitting beside each other. Whenever Koki was called for recitation, Sae would whisper him the answers, which usually got both of them scolded. Still, Koki would always apologize afterward. Since elementary school, Koki would always remind Sae about PE, knowing she excelled in sports. One day during a ball game, Sae noticed a kid aiming at Koki. Without thinking, she jumped in to block the ball, accidentally knocking Koki to the ground. Because of that, he was forced out of the line and eliminated. The other kids started teasing him, and Koki ran away in embarrassment. At lunchtime, they sat beside each other as usual, but neither of them spoke. Sae noticed how much Koki liked takoyaki, even though he wasn't fond of school lunches. Feeling guilty, she apologized and offered him her plate. To her surprise, Koki also handed her his, having noticed her sad expression. So they ended up swapping plates. As they grew older, Koki began focusing on soccer. Even though he was skinnier and smaller than the other boys, Sae always thought he looked big and cool. Back then, she was relieved that none of her friends were interested in him, but everything changed in 6th grade when he suddenly grew tall. By their 3rd year of junior high, everyone around them saw how cool he had become. Sae almost didn't recognize him at first, especially when he greeted her with a much deeper voice. They had started out so close, but their friendship seemed to fade rather than grow. Sae told herself she had to stop having a crush on him, as Koki's sudden popularity made her feel a little lonely. Even if it meant others were finally noticing the side of him she had always admired. Deep down, she knew her feelings were one-sided. And now she couldn't tell anyone she liked him, not when Koki had become someone admired by everyone. The next day in class, Sae follows their usual routine when the teacher suddenly asks who their class representative for the sports fest is. On her way to the meeting, she notices the door she broke yesterday already has a warning note plastered on it. When she reaches the meeting room, she finds Koki there alone. His face lights up when he realizes Sae is the class rep for Class B. Soon, the other class reps also start arriving. The meeting proceeds as usual until the teacher brings out a large piece of fabric from the school banner. He suggests that a few students from each grade work on it, but everyone seems uninterested since it's too big. Seeing this, Koki approaches Sae and asks if she wants to make the banner with him, since she's the only person he knows there. Sae has no choice but to agree. With that, it's decided that the two of them will be in charge of the banner. The next day, while Sae is finishing her tennis practice, Koki is already waiting for her by the court. Flustered, she awkwardly announces that they're only going to make the banner. They head to an empty classroom, spread the fabric on the floor, and think of a design. To her surprise, Koki already has a clear plan. He's always been artistic since elementary school, and when he shows her his drawing, Sae instantly agrees with it. They decide to start right away, and Sae volunteers to get the paint, partly because she needs to calm herself down as her hands are trembling just from being near him. After calming herself, Sae heads back to the classroom, and in no time, the two of them finish the banner. Suddenly, an instructor walks in and scolds them for staying in the room so late. They quickly explain what they're doing and show him the banner. The teacher comments that the design might not be appropriate, but Sae immediately defends Koki's art. Seeing this, the teacher decides to bring the banner to the office and tells them both to head home. As they part ways, Koki suddenly realizes his bike key is missing. After searching everywhere, they still can't find it. Koki is about to give up and walk home, but Sae refuses to let that happen. She encourages him to think carefully about his morning. When Koki closes his eyes to remember, Sae becomes flustered just watching him. To her surprise, he finds the key in his pocket the entire time. Sae is relieved that Koki found his bike key, but it's already late. Koki offers to give her a ride home, telling her to hop on his bike. Sae immediately declines, worried about her weight, but Koki reassures her that it's fine. He even mentions that he often gives his soccer teammates rides and they're heavier than her, so it won't be a problem. As they ride home, their conversation flows naturally. They talk about the upcoming sports fest, with Koki mentioning how Sae is joining the relay because of her speed. Sae, however, secretly tenses up. Koki remembers exactly where she lives, and they end up reminiscing about school lunches, how he used to be picky, but isn't anymore, and how lunches have improved now that they're in junior high. Suddenly, a loud popping sound interrupts them. The bike's tire bursts. Sai immediately apologizes, thinking it's because of her weight, but Koki assures her it's just a shard of glass. Despite this, he still insists on walking her home. Koki recalls how she used to let classmates go ahead during obstacle races and gently reminds her not to hold back anymore. As they walk, Koki casually brings up high school. Sai shares that she's going to North High, and to her surprise, Koki is going there too. They realize this is the first time they talked this deeply in a long while, since they rarely ended up in the same class during junior high. When they reach Sai's house, she reflects on how easy their conversations are. Koki has always been someone who can talk casually with anyone. Even though she wasn't the one who found his key, he still offered her a ride home, because that's just how kind he is. The next day marks the start of the sports fest. A teacher asks Sai to move a huge pile of tug-of-war ropes and suggests she get Koki's help. But since he's surrounded by a group of girls, Sai decides to handle it alone. She struggles to drag the heavy ropes but refuses to interrupt him. Luckily, a few of her teammates arrive just in time to help her out. Then Sai is informed that the cavalry battle is about to begin. In this game, girls are carried by their teammates and try to snatch headbands from opponents on other teams. Sai is positioned at the bottom, supporting a girl on one leg while trying to stay balanced. Because the girls on top are fiercely battling, Sai ends up getting hit several times, but she refuses to let go and keeps holding her up until the end. Their team ultimately wins the match. As Sai catches her breath, she notices how the other girls still look composed and dazzling despite the intense game, while she herself looks completely worn out. The next match is the boys' cavalry battle, so Sai steps aside to give space for the audience. The game begins and Koki leads his team as their general cavalry. The match is intense, but Koki gives his all. In the end, he manages to take down the opposing general, securing victory for his team. The crowd erupts in cheers and Sai can't help but feel proud of him, even though their eyes don't meet. As the sports fest continues, the games proceed one after another. Sai participates enthusiastically, but when she draws her instruction card, it surprises her. It says, "Bring someone you love." Her eyes instinctively land on Koki, but she quickly shakes the thought away and decides to grab her friend Ray instead. They pretend to be in love as they run toward the goal. While resting, Sai wonders who could have snuck that card into the game, but before she can think further, Koki suddenly runs toward her holding his own card for the same scavenger hunt. She pretends not to hear him at first, but he keeps calling her name until he reaches her and pulls her along. They dash toward the leader who's about to read the instructions. Koki tries to stop him, but the leader announces it anyway, a tall girl. With this, Sai awkwardly forces a smile and heads back. She knows what the leader said is true, but hearing it from Koki still stings as she's always wanted him to seek her differently. Tears threaten to fall, but Koki suddenly comes running after her to explain himself. He admits that the card actually said a cute girl, and she was the first person who came to his mind. He was too embarrassed to let the leader say it out loud, so he quickly signaled for him to make something up instead. Hearing this, Sai finds herself growing even more attached to Koki. For the rest of the sports fest, she continues to cheer for him. Time passes and the day of their entrance exams arrives. Both Sai and Koki take the test for North High. Sai tells herself she shouldn't love him anymore, he feels out of reach now. But when the results come out, she realizes there's no rule against falling in love. She looks his way and sees he passed too. There they exchange warm, genuine smiles. On the day of their graduation, Koki approaches Sai and asks to take a photo together, saying his mom requested it. They stand side by side and snap the picture, but Koki suddenly realizes he's standing a little too close. Sai feels flustered but asks him to send her the photo as well. They exchange contact information, telling each other it'll be useful since they'll be in the same high school and they hope to be in the same class. Afterward, they chat about various things like the Kohaku Manju sweets sold during graduation. To Sai's surprise, Koki hands her his Kohaku Manju as a small gift and says he's looking forward to spending high school with her. Sai can't help but admire him deeply. Receiving something from Koki feels like an impossible dream come true. On the first day of school, Sai discovers that she's in the same class as Koki. As she makes her way to the classroom, she reflects on how this time she wants to take her shot, and the universe seems to be giving her a sign to go for it. But before she reaches the door, Hisui suddenly slips down the stairs and Sai instinctively catches her just in time. Right after, she coincidentally bumps into Koki, who sees her in that awkward position. He greets her warmly, clearly happy that they're classmates again. Meanwhile, Sai's mind goes completely blank, thinking about how cool he looks in his new uniform. On the first day of school, Sai arrives in class as the teacher instructs everyone to introduce themselves one by one. Yoda stands and introduces himself normally. Yushin stands next, but he's overly talkative, while Sai quietly takes mental notes, trying to remember everyone's names. When it's Koki's turn, Sai suddenly finds herself dazzled. He speaks about various things about himself that even Sai didn't know. When her turn comes, she stands up and notices that her classmates immediately talk about her height. Flustered, she gives a very brief introduction and quickly sits down again. After school, as everyone is heading home, Koki calls out to her. Her heart skips, but he simply tells her that her skirt is torn. Sai realizes it must have happened earlier when she caught Hisui by the stairs. To her surprise, Koki quickly takes off his jacket and hands it to her to cover up, assuring her no one else noticed. Ironically, he's the one person she didn't want to notice at all. Once Sai gets home, her mom immediately fixes her torn skirt. While in her room, her mom also notices the Kohaku Manju box Koki gave Sai during their graduation still displayed. After she leaves, Sai starts daydreaming about Koki, how he's now in the same class as her, looking so dashing in his school uniform. She even has his phone number saved but can't find a single excuse to text him first. The next day at school, Sai brings his hoodie with her, intending to return it. However, Koki is almost never alone, making it difficult for her to approach him. Meanwhile, Sai observes that Hizui is constantly surrounded by guys from different classes, and she admits she really is cute. As she walks, she hears someone call out from a window. Looking down, she sees Koki waving goodbye to her from outside. Flustered, she rushes over to meet him. She comes downstairs and they accidentally bump into each other. Sai quickly apologizes and hands him the hoodie he lent her. Then Hizui calls out to Sai, thanking her for saving her earlier. The two finally have a proper introduction while Koki excuses himself and leaves. As they chat, Hizui comments on how close Sai and Koki seem, even gushing about how cool Koki is. Sai realizes that even in high school, people still think of him as the cool guy. Hizui continues talking about his introduction and shows genuine interest in getting to know Sai better. Before they part ways, Hizui asks for Sai's contact information. The next day, their teacher gives the class their first task as a united group, which is to pick up trash around the school tomorrow. Sai is grouped with Koki, Hizui, and 3 others. Yushin takes the role of group leader and Yoon comes up with nicknames for everyone. He calls Koki Mr. Handsome, but when it's Sai's turn, Yushin jokingly tries to nickname her Hachiro for being big. Sai grows uncomfortable, but Koki steps in and gives her a much better nickname. The team proceeds to come up with nicknames and discuss their task. When lunchtime approaches, Hizui suggests that they eat together. As they eat, Hizui can't stop talking about Koki, admiring his every action. She even asks Sai about him during their junior high days, but Sai quickly brushes off the questions. Meanwhile, Miyu appears uninterested and simply tries to steer the conversation back to class topics. The next day is their school cleanup day, so the group roams around campus picking up trash. Some areas are so full of trees and grass that they jokingly fear a bear might appear. During the activity, Yushin continues to make uncomfortable comments about Sai's height, which bothers her. So throughout the activity, Sai can't help but reflect on how she's always been seen as the big one, while Koki has always been seen as the cool one. Miyu and Hizui soon call out to Sai, and they move to a different location. Suddenly, Yushin comes tumbling down from above. Sai instinctively moves to help him up, but Koki quickly stops her. Koki accidentally calls Sai by her first name, causing both of them to blush in surprise. Later, as the 3 of them are left alone, Miyu and Hizui discuss Koki's earlier behavior. Sai listens, but deep down she knows this isn't the first time Koki has called her by her first name. When they were younger, he used to address her that way all the time. He has always been gentle and kind toward her, so she doesn't believe he's short-tempered at all. She tries to explain their history and the situation to Miyu and Hizui in detail, so much that the two become a bit overwhelmed. Then Yoon interrupts their conversation, explaining that Koki snapped at Yushin because Yushin had said something completely out of line. The girls try to press Yoda for details, but he refuses to reveal more. Before they can continue, both Koki and Yushin come running back to call them. As Sai glances at Koki, she can't help but notice how she simply can't look away. That night, after finishing her bath, Sai receives a message from Koki. He's asking about the coverage for tomorrow's quizzes and demands an answer within 10 minutes. Panicked, Sai scrambles to get dressed and search through her notes. She texts him the full coverage just in time. However, Koki replies, realizing he had sent the message to Sai by mistake and it was actually meant for his friend. As Koki apologizes, their conversation naturally drifts casually. His words fill Sai's heart. Soon after, she receives another message, this time from Hizui. She starts by complaining about the earlier cleanup activity, but quickly shifts the topic to Koki. Sai has no choice but to respond, even though she feels slightly overwhelmed. Lying in bed afterwards, Sai reflects on how quickly gossip spreads. If a girl confesses her feelings to a guy, everyone at school is bound to find out sooner or later. The next day at lunch, the 3 sit together again. Hizui persistently presses Sai, asking if Koki has a girlfriend, even though Sai has already told her he doesn't. Sai thinks it's too soon for Hizui to be interested in Koki, but Hizui speaks boldly, not caring that they're inside the classroom where others might overhear. She then launches into a long, animated talk about boys, girls, and dating back in their junior high days. She shares an overwhelming amount of information, but neither Sai nor Miyu is truly listening. Both are visibly exhausted by her chatter. Eventually, Hizui notices Sai's silence and assumes she's simply not interested. So Miyu explains that some people just aren't into girl talk. Hearing this, Hizui apologizes. She admits she doesn't really know what else to talk about, while Miyu smoothly shifts the topic back to class lessons, which makes Hizui look completely horrified. Later that day, during judo practice, Sai swiftly brings Hizui down with a single blow. In fact, she defeats everyone so effortlessly that even her coach asks if she's interested in joining the judo club. After the session ends, Sai immediately checks on her friends, asking if they're okay. Just then, they spot Koki nearby. Hizui excitedly tells him how amazing Sai is at judo, while Miyu adds that Sai seems to handle everyone gently, placing them softly on the mat despite her strength. Koki praises Sai for this and then casually mentions the ongoing tennis practice before his friends call him over. Intrigued, Hizui expresses interest in tennis as well. Sai is just about to submit her registration for the club, so she decides to bring Hizui with her to register for the tennis club together. As they head to the tennis court, Sayu teaches Hizui how to hold the tennis racket properly. However, Hizui is too distracted by Koki on the neighboring football field. In class, Sayu notices how straightforward and open Hizui is. It makes her quietly compare herself, wondering if she's truly a better option for Koki. Later, while she's at her locker, Koki approaches her and brings up her high grades in math. To her surprise, he asks if she can tutor him since he barely passed. That afternoon, the two meet in the library, though Sayu isn't entirely sure how to teach him. Koki reminisces about their elementary school days when Sayu used to help him with things because she was bigger than him. Now that he's grown, he says he wants to return the favor. Sayu reflects that maybe that's why he's always been kind to her, but the truth is, she was just happy to help then and still is now. As they head home, Koki compliments Sayu, mentioning how she effortlessly made it into the school while he barely managed despite putting in so much effort. His exams and transcripts were a complete mess, but he pushed through. Sayu then opens up, admitting that she's always played it safe, too afraid to take risks. Koki admits he was scared too, but he still tried his best, and he's genuinely happy that his hard work paid off in the end. Hearing this, Sayu can't help but admire him even more, despite her scores being significantly higher than his. That night, she tries to craft a message to text him but can't find the right words. Just as she's thinking, Koki texts her first, catching her completely off guard. She panics, unsure how to respond. Before she can type a reply, another message from him arrives, then another one. The messages keep coming, but Sayu still can't think of what to say, so she simply sends him a sticker for the moment. With that, their conversation continues, even drifting back to their elementary school days. Deep down, Sayu quietly hopes that someday she'll have the courage to tell Koki how she truly feels. The next day in class, another group activity is announced. Sayu groups up with Mio and Hizui as usual. Yushin then suggests that their group team up with his since there are 3 of them as well. However, several classmates start commenting that they should mix up the groups from the trash cleanup activity for a change. Some even glance at Sayu and suggest she just wants to be with Koki. Before Sayu can react, Koki taps her shoulder and whispers a plan. When Yushin tries to lead the mix-up, Koki steps forward and takes charge. Using rock, paper, scissors to decide groups, he ensures the plan works. Sure enough, Sayu and Koki end up in the same group again. After class, as Sayu heads home, Hizui excitedly runs up to her. She mentions noticing how sneaky Sayu and Koki seemed and admits she wants to get closer to him too, asking Sayu to help. But upon seeing Sayu's reaction, Hizui decides she'll just talk to him herself. As Sayu watches Hizui trying to make her move on Koki, Mio suddenly speaks up. She has seen through Sayu and knows she has a crush on him too. Just then, Koki waves in their direction, which startles Sayu so much that she drops her bag and rushes off in a panic. She reflects on how she's always hidden her feelings for Koki, terrified that it might ruin their friendship. While running, Sayu bumps into Hizui. Then she pushes her into a corner to confess something. She admits she has a crush on Koki as well. Hizui's eyes widen in shock at first, but to Sayu's surprise, she only wants to help. Hizui even speaks so loudly that Sayu has to cover her mouth to keep others from hearing. When Hizui learns about Sayu's hidden feelings for Koki since elementary school, she is stunned. Sayu pours out her feelings and experiences, and Hizui assures her that she has her back. Soon after, Mio arrives carrying Sayu's things. Hizui finally admits she only liked Koki for his looks, but if she had known Sayu had serious feelings toward him, she would never have pursued Koki. Besides, Hizui had already set her sights on someone else because Koki mentioned he already liked someone, and that is something Sayu didn't know. Sayu tries to figure out who Koki's crush might be, but she can't pinpoint anyone. After all, they never really talk about topics like that. Thinking about it, Sayu realizes she's never imagined Koki being interested in anyone before. Mio suggests that maybe Hizui only misheard it, but Hizui insists she's sure. Even so, Mio believes Koki might have just said it without thinking. Rumors and hearsay can easily be twisted by personal bias, so she refuses to believe anything unless she sees it herself. With that, Hizui suggests that Sayu ask Koki directly. However, for Sayu, it doesn't really matter. She decides she'll just do her best regardless, and Hizui completely agrees with her decision. Hizui also brings up the upcoming school trip, pointing out that since they'll be grouped with Koki, it will give them more chances to talk more closely. That night, the girls are endlessly texting, all excited for the upcoming school trip. Hizui eagerly shares the latest gossip she overheard at school, but both Sayu and Mio don't seem particularly interested in it. Meanwhile, Sayu quietly reflects to herself that she's scared of being rejected, but despite her fear, she still wants to try because she likes Koki so much. On the other hand, Hizui keeps chattering about the trip with Mio, not realizing Mio has already fallen asleep on the other end of the line. Meanwhile, Koki gets ready for the trip, and so does Sayu. The next day, Sayu bids her family goodbye. They cheer her on and remind her to bring back souvenirs. Soon, the bus arrives, and as she waits, Sayu can't help but think about Koki. Even if he likes someone else, she's determined to take her chance. Hizui, as always, encourages her wholeheartedly, ready to support her no matter what. Not long after, the bus departs and Sayu settles into a window seat. However, when she hears that another girl wants to switch, she immediately agrees. Her new seat ends up between 2 boys who won't stop talking about a show, so she offers to switch again. Later on, a girl at the back starts feeling motion sick, and Sayu volunteers once more to trade seats with her. Throughout the ride, she keeps moving around, accommodating whoever needs help, until she finally finds a spot where she can stay. As she looks out the window, she remembers that Koki used to get motion sickness too. Then the bus suddenly fills with Yushin's loud singing, belting out a silly tune about waking up early for the school trip. From her seat, Sae can clearly hear the boys laughing and teasing each other. It reminds her of how Koki has always been like that, goofing around with his friends, so she never imagined him having a crush on anyone. Still, she quietly reassures herself that it doesn't matter. When they arrive at the hotel, the instructor tells everyone to leave their luggage and head straight to the training center. One girl starts feeling unwell after the ride, so Sae immediately offers to carry her things, not expecting it to be so many. That's when she spots Koki, who is also carrying his friend's belongings because the latter isn't feeling well. Watching him, Sae assumes again that he's perfectly fine now. Koki and his friends enter the building first while Sae follows behind, her arms completely full of her friend's belongings. She then realizes the door isn't automatic, so she tries to push it open with her foot. However, when she attempts to squeeze through, she ends up awkwardly stuck between the doors. Coincidentally, Koki is inside and spots her. Without hesitation, he rushes over to help. When their eyes meet, he flashes the same warm smile he used to give her back in elementary school, making it hard for Sae to imagine him liking anyone. Still, she silently reassures herself that it doesn't matter. A moment later, the owner of the belongings she's carrying comes over to thank her for the help. Later that day, the class gathers for lunch and Sae sits with her friends while sneaking glances at Koki's table nearby. She watches as he and his friends talk about the mystery meat on their trays, which Koki refuses to eat, making Sae realize he's still a picky eater after all. But to her surprise, someone else casually takes the meat from his plate and eats it for him. A small pang of sadness hits her as she used to be the one who did that. Before she realizes it, Hisui leans in and whispers that she's staring too much. With this, Sae snaps back just as Koki turns to look at her, and she immediately blushes. Koki points to his plate, assuming she's eyeing his food. Sae nods quickly, pretending she's just a glutton, even though the truth is he's the one she's staring at. When they finally arrive at the training center, Hisui attempts to push Sae toward Koki to spark some interaction. However, since Sae is a bit bigger, Hisui ends up bouncing back in failure. After hearing Hisui's plan, Sae immediately panics, flustered at the idea of making such an obvious move. Even Mio agrees that it's way too embarrassing. Sae tries to calm her down, assuring her that she'll be fine on her own, but Hisui insists that she should at least show Koki what's so great about her. Unfortunately, when they try to think of her good points, nothing immediately comes to mind. Mio simply says it's best to do nothing about it. Then, a nostalgic memory suddenly flashes through Sae's mind. Back in elementary school, there was a survey where she was voted under the likely to be a good mom category. She remembers writing Koki's name in several categories back then, and now she wonders whose name he wrote. During an activity, the students are grouped together. Hisui makes sure Sae sits directly in front of Koki, making her extremely worried she's being too obvious. Still, she sits down, and Mio takes the lead in discussing the topic while Yushin keeps interrupting playfully. As the training continues, the group starts interacting, and Hisui occasionally praises Sae out loud, teasing that she would make the perfect girlfriend. Her remarks cause Sae to grow flustered, while Yushin joins in, talking about how much Sae loves food. With this, Koki immediately elbows him in the face, making him stop. Sae keeps insisting she's fine, but Koki doesn't believe her, and this side of him makes Sae admire him even more. When it's time to brainstorm ideas, Sae is assigned to write everything down, so she hurriedly scrambles to catch every word as the group throws out their thoughts. However, whenever Yushin is given a task, he keeps declining, claiming he doesn't know how to do it. This forces Sae to handle his share of the work too. Over time, the group grows annoyed until they eventually snap, demanding that he take things seriously. As they finish preparing their presentation materials, Koki turns to each of his group mates for a high five. When it's Sae's turn, both Hisui and Mio watch her closely, and she just awkwardly raises her hand to give Koki a soft high five. However, when it's her turn to high five the girls, she ends up slapping their hands with strong force, which makes Koki laugh out loud. As they prepare to leave the training center, Hisui suddenly tells Sae that it looked like she liked Yushin earlier. Sae freezes in shock as Hisui and Mio head to the bathroom, while she chooses to stay behind. Inside the bathroom, the two girls talk about Sae. Mio suggests that Hisui should just let Sae act naturally, but Hisui insists on helping her. Hisui comments on how reserved Sae is, wishing she would make a move toward Koki instead of staying quiet. She genuinely wants to support her friend, even suggesting they sneak into the boys' room at night, but Mio disagrees, saying it's better to observe and let things unfold. Meanwhile, Sae stares at the boxes of treats and starts imagining how Koki might like her. Unexpectedly, Koki appears behind her and comments about the onsen manju, but Sae isn't actually focused on the sweets as she's lost in thought about him. Koki casually picks up a few boxes to bring home as souvenirs. Soon the teacher calls everyone to gather and the students run toward him. In the commotion, a student accidentally bumps into a bottle of wine, knocking it over. Sae instinctively tries to catch it, and Koki moves to shield her. Still, the bottle shatters and Sae ends up with a small cut on her forehead. Koki immediately calls for medical help, and though the teacher says it's nothing serious, Koki insists she receive proper treatment. In the clinic, Sae receives treatment while Koki stays by her side. He repeatedly apologizes for the accident, but Sae insists it isn't his fault. Still, Koki argues that since her face is important, he should have been the one to get hurt. He explains that as a guy, it wouldn't have mattered if he got a wound. The teachers find it odd how casually he says this, so Koki tries to defend himself. His sincerity only makes Sai's feelings grow deeper, even though he might like someone else. Later, while the girls eat, Mio talks about how Koki's popularity grew after the incident. Everyone was touched by how worried he was for Sai. Despite his own mistakes, he looked genuinely desperate to apologize earlier. Sai quietly reflects on how kind he's always been, as that's one of the things she likes most about him. In the girls' room, everyone is busy blow-drying their hair. Mio helps Hisui with hers while they chat about hairstyles. Meanwhile, Sai decides to step out for a bit. Meanwhile, the boys notice an arcade nearby and, despite the rules, decide to sneak a look. Sai happens to spot the group but doesn't see Koki among them, so she looks around and finds him outside, quietly admiring the scenery. She approaches him carefully, but Koki, distracted by his phone, gets startled when he notices her. His phone slips from his hand, but Sai catches it just in time. Then they begin chatting casually. Koki admits he didn't feel like joining the others either. He then checks on Sai's wound, concerned, but she brushes it off, saying it's not a big deal. As he leans closer to inspect it, the scene grows awkward. Koki realizes how close he's gotten and quickly apologizes, explaining that he's just used to talking to his clubmates like that. Then Sai gathers her courage and asks Koki if there's someone he likes. He doesn't answer right away, but eventually guesses that Hisui must have told her something. Koki admits that it's an unrequited crush, as he likes someone who feels out of his reach. He recalls some of his embarrassing moments from elementary school, which Sai knows very well. To him, the girl he likes is like a star shining brighter than the sun. Inside, Sai completely understands because that's exactly how she feels about him. Still, she insists that he's actually really cool. She reminds him of how kind he's always been, like the time he gave her his takoyaki when she was sad and how hard he worked in soccer. None of those things have changed, so Sai tells him that if this girl truly gets to know him, she'll fall for him too. She wishes him the best, but deep down, the only thing she really wants to say is that she likes him. Koki simply thanks Sai for her kind words, acknowledging that she's the one who has known him the longest. At that moment, a flood of memories rushes back to Sai, and she realizes she has liked him all along from the very beginning. Their quiet moment is cut short when the other guys call out to Koki, urging him to join them. As he turns to talk to them, Sai's eyes begin to well up with tears. Koki tells her to keep their conversation just between the two of them, but when he looks back, she's already wiped her tears away with a faint smile. All Sai can do now is silently hope that Koki's feelings will one day reach the girl he loves. Once they're back in their rooms, Isui won't stop pestering Sai about her earlier confrontation with Koki, while Sai focuses on her push-ups, pretending not to hear. Their chatter continues until an attendant checks in to announce lights out, sending all the girls diving under their blankets. Though some quickly drift off, Sai can't stop replaying Koki's face in her mind as she struggles to fall asleep. Suddenly, a faint glow flickers beneath her blanket. Opening her eyes, she finds Hisui and Mio pointing the foam light at her, creeping closer with mischievous grins. Hisui immediately bombards Sai with questions, eager for details, but Mio warns her to slow down before she overwhelms her. With a sigh, Sai finally sits up to face them and admits her plan to avoid Koki entirely, thinking distance will make it easier to forget him. But since they're in the same class, she knows it'll be difficult. Even casual conversations feel dangerous, as if one more word could deepen her feelings. She remembers Koki once saying that his crush was someone beyond his reach. While he gazed distantly that day, Sai had only looked at him, realizing how close yet unreachable he felt. As Sai gets lost in thought, Mio suddenly sprays her face with a mist of water, then does the same to Hisui. Both of them yelp in protest, but Mio only says they probably need moisturizing. What Sai really needs, though, is comfort. Seeing her expression soften, Hisui quickly pulls her into a hug, assuring her that she's done her best and that it's more than enough. Hearing those words, Sai's eyes well with tears, and soon Hisui starts crying too. The two of them sob uncontrollably while Mio threatens to spray them again if they don't quiet down. In that moment, she realizes that girl talk isn't so bad after all. Mio and Hisui stay up with Sai, keeping her company until she finally feels at ease. With her friends by her side, Sai realizes how deeply they care for her. Koki may have entrusted her with his secret, but she now believes it was worth it. Knowing the truth, no matter how painful, feels better than pretending nothing happened at all. Later that night, the attendant returns to check on them again. Unaware that all three girls are squeezed together under Sai's blanket, with the spray bottle rolling quietly on the floor beside the bed. The next morning at breakfast, Mio and Hisui make sure Koki isn't around before going to get their food. It isn't really necessary, but Sai still chooses to keep her distance. Just as the two leave to line up, Koki appears with his usual sleepy face and greets her casually. Good morning. Caught off guard, Sai awkwardly returns the greeting. Then Yushin calls out to Koki from across the room, and he walks away, leaving her frozen in place. When Sai finally goes to get her food, she avoids eye contact, careful not to pass too close to him. But Koki is the first to approach, starting a casual conversation about the meal, which only makes her more uneasy. When they sit down, her plate ends up piled high with meat. From across the room, she catches Koki smiling at her, which makes her flustered. She takes a big bite but struggles to swallow. Her friends rush to help as the class panics. Even Koki stands up to check on her, but before he can reach her, Sai manages to gulp it down, avoiding disaster. The class gasps in awe at her iron throat, leaving her red-faced and mortified. Later, when it's time for group presentations, Mio suggests that Yushin handle their part alone. Thankfully, Koki volunteers to help him, and the two present together. While they speak, Sae can't help but glance at Koki before quickly turning away, but Hisui and Mio notice right away. As they gather for the bus ride, Sae keeps reminding herself not to get close to Koki. Even when he makes the whole bus erupt in laughter, she forces herself not to react. Watching her struggle makes Hisui emotional, so Mio quietly reminds her to stay strong for Sae. But Hisui's soft sniffles soon draw attention from nearby students who lean over to ask if she's okay. Mio quickly waves them off, saying everything's fine. As Sae hides her feelings, the weight in her chest grows heavier. Still, she tells herself everything will be fine, just like before. She knows that giving her all might leave scars, but that same effort could also bring slow, steady healing. Deep down, she believes she'll get over it someday. Noticing her unease, a classmate offers her a bottle of water, but she declines, pretending she's just sleepy from staying up late. Mio and Hisui quickly back her up, teasing about how little sleep they got from their girls' night. Later, during their final activity, the instructor reminds everyone to stay hydrated. Some girls compliment Koki's flawless skin, and he laughs it off, saying it's just from getting enough sleep. Meanwhile, Sae keeps her distance, studying the map quietly until Koki approaches again, striking up small talk about the area. When Sae glances up and catches his smile, she freezes, realizing her plan to avoid him isn't working at all. Soon, the instructor announces their next challenge, a 10-kilometer race through the forest all the way to the memorial tower and back. Students must pair up randomly in boy-girl teams. Sae quickly scans the crowd and spots Yoda nearby, rushing to ask him before anyone else can. Though hesitant, Yoda eventually agrees. Meanwhile, Koki looks around for Sae, worried because she seemed pale earlier. He approaches Mio to ask about her. Calmly, Mio tells him that Sae already paired up with Yoda. Koki looks puzzled, not understanding why, but Mio reminds him they're seatmates and then suggests that he partner with her instead. As everyone stretches, Sae steels herself. She's determined to avoid Koki, no matter what, even if it seems rude. Noticing her tension, Yoda quietly asks if she's sure she can run, but Sae insists she's fine. Ironically, it's Yoda who looks like he might not make it. When the teacher gives the final announcement, the class lines up at the starting point. But Sae can't clear her mind of Koki. She keeps wondering who his crush might be, and why he seems so confident now when he used to be shy. Lost in thought, she doesn't even notice the whistle until Yoda calls her name. Startled, she begins to run, but stumbles on her first step. Luckily, Yoda catches her just in time before she falls, and they continue running together. Several classmates speed past them, but Sae and Yoda push on, refusing to give up. Suddenly, someone screams, claiming there's an eel on the path. They stop, only to find a twisted stick. Sae tosses it aside so no one else panics. Then they spot a small wooden box lying nearby. It's a fallen bird's nest box. Concerned, Sae and Yoda decide to return it. Sae kneels to give Yoda a boost, but he refuses, saying it should be the other way around. They bicker until Koki and Mito arrive, curious about the commotion. After hearing their explanation, Yoda gives Koki a boost instead. Koki climbs carefully, setting the nest box back in place. When he looks down to ask if it's straight, Sae only mumbles a response and turns away. As the four continue along the trail, Sae silently apologizes for acting distant. It's the only way she knows to hide her feelings. When she notices Koki's shoelaces untied, she quietly tells Mio to inform him. Mio realizes just how observant Sae truly is, though Sae herself doesn't notice. She's simply gotten so used to watching Koki that even the smallest details stand out. She recalls how he used to struggle with shoelaces in elementary school, but now she knows she has to start letting go of those memories one by one. The next task involves rowing across a stream in boats, working in groups of 4. The class groans in protest, but there's no way around it. As groups form, Sae ends up without a team. Hisui urges her to squeeze into theirs, but Sae insists she'll go alone. When she tries to push the boat into the water, she realizes how heavy it is, just as Koki steps in to help. Coincidentally, he's also the last one without a partner, so they end up together. Despite starting last, they quickly catch up with the others. Hisui notices them sharing the same boat, and while some classmates tease that it looks romantic, Mio can tell it's not. The way Sae rows looks more like she's racing the world itself. After a while, Koki tells her to slow down. They're already far ahead. With no escape left, Sae has to face him. Koki starts chatting about random things, and the more they talk, the more Sae feels herself sinking deeper. Then, he suddenly asks if she's been avoiding him. Instead of answering, Sae keeps rowing. She remembers how, even as kids, Koki could always see through her. He'd chat about trivial things first, then cut straight to what really mattered, just like now. Trying to stay composed, Sae says she just doesn't want his crush to misunderstand or think they're together, since that could cause trouble for him. Her voice trembles, but she forces herself to sound firm. Before Koki can reply, their boat slams against a rock, throwing them both into the water. Panic hits as Sae realizes Koki might not be able to swim, but before she can search for him, he surfaces and grabs her hand, pulling her up. When their eyes meet, Koki confesses that he enjoys talking to her, and that he doesn't want her to avoid him anymore. It would only make him sad, especially since there's no guarantee his crush will ever work out. Sae is important to him, and he wants things to stay the same between them. Before she can answer, another group crashes their boat into theirs, splashing water everywhere. Even so, Koki doesn't let go of her hand. Flustered, Sae admits she loves talking to him too. and that she wants them to stay friends no matter what. Koki smiles and agrees just as Yushin suddenly pops up between them, floating in the water. Chaos erupts as more boats overturn. Sai and Koki flip theirs too, laughing through the mess. Though Koki mutters about saying embarrassing things, Sai feels even more embarrassed herself. Remembering how desperate she was to save him moments ago, she realizes that forcing distance might only hurt her more. Still, for now, she decides to stay by his side a little longer. On the ride home, Yushin asks to sit beside Sai, saying it's easier because she doesn't feel like a girl. Before long, he falls asleep against her shoulder, leaving her frozen in awkward silence. Just then, Koki walks by, notices them, and without hesitation wakes Yushin, dragging him to sit beside him instead. Sai can only watch as her heart flutters from his casual protectiveness. Now, the only thing on her mind is how she's going to explain to Hisui and Mio that she and Koki are friends again. The next day, the class goes through their regular checkups once again, and Hisui immediately asks about Mio and Sai's health. Sai feels relieved to learn that she's only grown a centimeter taller, meaning her growth is finally slowing down. Her weight, however, has skyrocketed, no surprise since she still can't resist eating a lot. As Sai arranges the checkup results on the table, Yoda approaches to greet her. Before she realizes it, a sudden gust of wind blows through the room. The teacher had just opened the door, and the papers scatter everywhere. As she scrambles to pick them up, one particular sheet catches her eye. It's Koki's checkup result, and she's startled to see his grip strength score. It's incredibly high. Her thoughts are cut short when Yoda calls out, thanking her for pairing up with him during their school activity. He admits he hadn't known who to team up with, and had simply wandered around until she invited him. Just then, Koki passes by, flashing his usual bright smile. Sai's heart skips a beat as memories from their school trip come flooding back, memories of how she'd gotten her heart broken by him twice. Later during break, Hisui insists that Koki is a bad guy, unwilling to accept that Sai and Koki have become friends again. Mio tries to calm her, reminding her to respect Sai's choices. Still, Hisui argues that as long as Koki doesn't let Sai go, she'll never be able to move on or find someone new. Sai reassures them that she'll be fine, that she can move on even while being friends with him. In the past, she thought she had no chance at all, but now that she knows Koki genuinely sees her as a friend, she's grateful. That afternoon, their instructor announces the upcoming class versus class jump rope tournament, leaving everyone stunned. None of them understands why such an event even exists, but since it's on the official school calendar, they have no choice but to participate. The class needs one boy and one girl to swing the rope, and when the teacher's gaze lands on Sai, the rest of the class follows suit. Unable to refuse, she reluctantly agrees. For her partner, the instructor insists on choosing someone from the sports club. That makes Sai nervous. She barely knows any boys outside her small circle. Just as she's fretting, Koki unexpectedly volunteers to be her partner. Sai freezes in disbelief, while Yushin gets assigned as the official jump counter. During PE, they head to the school gym to practice, but Sai and Koki arrive first. Koki immediately notices how hot it is. The windows are all shut. Because of the heat, Sai decides to change into her shorts. She turns her back to Koki and starts pulling off her pants, making him panic in shock. Sai quickly explains that she's wearing shorts underneath, but his startled reaction makes her flustered. Laughing it off, she teases that it's fine since they're friends, and hearing that word makes Koki smile despite himself. When the rest of the class arrives, it takes a while before everyone gets moving, still awkward and out of sync. Fortunately, Yushin's loud personality helps lighten the mood, and soon he rallies everyone to start. Once he gives the signal, Sai and Koki swing the rope in perfect rhythm while their classmates jump in time. Sai struggles at first, especially since some classmates are taller, forcing her to put in extra effort to keep the rope moving fast enough. When the count passes 10, someone accidentally steps on the rope, stopping their attempt. Yushin encourages everyone to keep going. It's only their first try. They restart, but Mio trips on the rope again, and the same thing happens on the next attempt too. Each time they start over, the class fails on the very first jump, with Mio tripping repeatedly. Suddenly, loud cheers erupt from the neighboring class. They've reached 30 successful jumps. Sai's class can only stare in envy before the bell rings, signaling the end of practice. Disappointed, they quietly file out of the gym. As they walk, Yushin starts teasing Mio about her constant mistakes, but Koki stops him with a light kick to the foot, making him shut up. Behind them, Hisui fumes, knowing Mio didn't mean to trip, but Mio admits that Yushin's words weren't wrong. After class, Sai heads toward her club practice, but notices Mio still in the courtyard practicing her jumps alone. Concerned, Sai approaches and asks what's wrong. Mio admits she's scared of messing up during the tournament and causing trouble for everyone. Sai reassures her gently before leaving. Moments later, Sai returns with Hisui holding a borrowed jump rope from the teacher. She tells Mio they're going to practice together. Hisui eagerly joins in, and soon Koki and Yoda arrive as well, offering to help. The five of them practice earnestly, giving Mio rhythm tips and cheering her on. On their first successful attempt, they manage 15 jumps before collapsing from exhaustion. As they rest and drink water, Mio curiously asks about Sai and Koki's club practices. Koki explains that he's doing self-training today, so he's free, while Sai hurriedly excuses herself to inform her seniors that she won't be attending practice after all. Before they realize it, the sky has grown dark. On their way home, Koki mentions a ramen shop nearby that offers a student discount. He keeps talking about how good it is, which naturally piques Sai's interest. Deep down, she knows Koki probably brings it up because he sees her as someone who loves food. Still, she reminds herself he's only saying it because they're friends. The next day in PE, the class practices jump rope again. Some still trip from time to time, but their record improves steadily. They notice how much Mio has improved and shower her with praise. Remembering her effort yesterday, many of them feel inspired, and soon the entire class grows genuinely excited for the upcoming tournament. Watching everyone laugh and cheer together, Mio realizes that the true purpose of this activity is to help them bond as a class. Even Sai receives praise from her classmates, who marvel at how perfectly she and Koki swing the rope in sync. They call them a great pair, saying their teamwork is flawless. But the more Sai hears that, the more uneasy she feels. Meanwhile, Yushin continues to draw mixed reactions with his odd antics. When PE ends, Hisui notices Sai's hands have turned red from all the swinging. She offers her some hand cream, and Sai, feeling grateful, asks if she can share some with Koki too. Sai runs down the hallway to catch up with Koki and explains. Without hesitation, Koki holds out his hands toward her. Realizing he wants her to apply it, Sai flusters. She ends up squeezing too much onto his palms, and Koki, noticing, tells her to take half, then lightly brushes his hand against hers to share it. The brief touch makes Sai freeze, and she can't help wondering how much longer she can keep her feelings hidden. When the day of the jump rope tournament arrives, the upperclassmen are bursting with energy, while Sai's class looks overwhelmed. Even with Yushin's best efforts to hype them up, their cheer sounds half-hearted. When their turn comes, they simply promise to do their best. The girls are fired up, the boys relaxed as ever. Once they start, the class moves in perfect rhythm. Each swing flows smoothly, the count climbing past 80 and 100. Gasps ripple through the gym as they keep going, 178 jumps in total before the whistle blows. The class erupts in cheers. Koki turns to Sai, giving her a thumbs up that leaves her frozen for a moment. Then, out of the corner of her eye, she sees him chatting with upper-class girls, and her chest tightens. Maybe her feelings will always stay one-sided. When all the classes finish, Sai's group is announced as the highest scorer in the freshman division. Cheers echo through the gym. As the rope swingers, Sai and Koki are called to the stage to give a short speech, but Koki is nowhere to be found, so the instructor sends Yoda up instead. Completely unprepared, Yoda awkwardly stands beside Sai as they're introduced. They manage to stammer out a few words and even receive a certificate for their victory. Just then, Koki returns, confused about why Yoda went up with her, and Sai explains what happened, embarrassed. After the tournament, Yushin proudly boasts about their win, thrilled that everyone gave their best. Miwa feels relieved she didn't trip this time and thanks Sai and Hisui for helping her practice. As everyone packs up, Sai prepares to head to her club when she spots an eraser on the floor with Yushin's name on it. She picks it up and decides to return it. While handing it back, they chat about the tournament until Yushin suddenly blurts out that Sai is big and cute at the same time. Flustered and offended, Sai struggles to respond as Yushin keeps talking, but before things escalate, Koki steps in, grabbing Yushin and scolding him for saying something so inappropriate. When Koki finally lets go, Yushin asks why Koki keeps saving Sai. Mortified, Sai blurts out that they're just friends and runs off. Her friends scold Yushin afterward, but Sai can't stop thinking about those words. Despite everything, she and Koki really are just friends. During club practice, Sai can't get her mind off what happened. Her thoughts keep circling back to Koki. Do friends really act like that? Distracted, she accidentally smashes the ball with too much force, sending it flying beyond the court. Her seniors praise her strength but scold her for losing focus as the ball gets stuck in the fence. As others struggle to get it down, Sai steps forward to try, but even she can't budge it. Then she notices someone on the other side of the fence, Koki, with his familiar smile. He pushes the ball through the wire so it drops back to her side. As he waves goodbye and jogs back to his own practice, Sai remains frozen. She tells herself again that they're just friends. But as sweat drips onto the ball in her hands, she realizes the ache in her chest hasn't faded at all. That night, as she heads home alone, she hears familiar voices calling out to her. Turning around, she sees Mio and Hisui inviting her to eat and have some girl talk. And at that moment, Sai smiles, realizing that no matter what happens, she truly has friends she can count on. When they arrive at the ramen shop, they quickly realize it's not exactly the best place for girl talk. The place is packed with their schoolmates. To stay discreet, they start texting each other, even though they're sitting right next to one another. It soon becomes almost comical as they message things they could easily say aloud. Curious, Sai finally asks why they called her out for a girl talk, wondering if one of them had fallen for the other. Both girls immediately deny it loud enough to draw attention, insisting she misunderstood. Hisui then teases Sai about how flustered she looked when Koki called her cute. Just as she says this, Koki and his clubmates walk into the same ramen shop, catching everyone off guard. The three instantly start messaging about his sudden appearance, though it's not exactly surprising since Koki had mentioned before that he often eats there. Just then, Sai accidentally chokes on her food, and her phone buzzes with a message from Koki asking if she's okay. Glancing toward his table, she gives a small nod. Unfortunately, the cook sees her nodding at the same moment. He asks if they want extra noodles and assumes it's a yes. With no choice but to go along, Sai ends up eating it all. Soon, Koki's clubmates start talking about how much she can eat, though their tone sounds more impressed than teasing. They're all good-looking, prompting Mio to remark that Koki's entire club gives off a player vibe. Sai quickly defends Koki, insisting he's not like that, though Koki admits that some of his seniors definitely are. When he asks if her ramen tastes good, Sai glances his way, and her friends immediately catch her staring. They start teasing her, but she insists it's just friendship. Yet when Hisui asks if she truly feels that way, Sai hesitates before quietly admitting that she does like him. But she knows it won't work out, so she's decided to give up. After finishing their meal, the girls step outside to talk. Hisui brings up Koki again, but Sai reassures her that she's already made up her mind to move on. Seeing how familiar this feels, Hisui suggests Sai should just find a boyfriend, perhaps Yushin. Both Sai and Mio stare at her in disbelief. Mio quickly points out that Yushin actually likes Hisui, but Hisui waves it off, saying he's not for her. Sai nods in agreement, adding that no matter who it is, if they're not meant for you, they're simply not. Though Hisui didn't mean anything bad, Sai explains that everyone has their own preferences and some things just aren't meant to happen. Mio adds that since Koki is Sai's crush, whatever choice she makes will be the right one. She reminds her that feelings can change over time, but promises to always be by her side. For Mio, being able to support someone is new, so she thanks Sai for helping her during their jump rope training, swearing she'll never forget it. Hisui then chimes in with a joke, making the three of them laugh and share a heartfelt moment together. The next morning, Sai stays home after her mother calls her teacher to say she overate the night before. Meanwhile, Mio and Hisui keep texting her for school updates. Then her mother suddenly calls out, saying there's a friend waiting for her. Still in her pajamas, Sai is shocked to see Koki at the door. He explains that he came to lend her his notebook full of class notes and adds that he heard from the teacher that she overate, which makes Sai die of embarrassment. As Koki talks about class updates, Sai finds it hard to focus. When he asks if she's feeling unwell, she quickly assures him she'll be fine and will return to school tomorrow. Before leaving, Koki bids her goodbye, and Sai secretly hopes her mom mentioned who her visitor was. When she finally opens Koki's notebook, she notices a note inside written in Japanese. "Are you trying to give up on someone you like?" Sai freezes, realizing that the message she meant to send to her friend's group chat last night was accidentally sent to Koki instead. Panicking, she starts thinking of ways to play it off. The next day, Sai returns to class, greeted by her classmates' worried faces, which only makes her more embarrassed. Even Yoda checks on her. During attendance, she learns that Koki is absent due to a sprained ankle from practice. That day, Sai decides to visit him after class. As she walks to his house, she recalls a memory from elementary school when they and a few friends hung out there. She brought snacks, and even though Koki never drank soda, he tried the one she brought. When Sai arrives, Koki greets her warmly. She first checks on his injury before returning the notebook he lent her. To her surprise, Koki immediately flips it open and spots her written reply to his question. His eyes widen as he realizes Sai really is trying to give up on someone. Flustered, Sai turns to leave, but when Koki tries to stop her, he almost falls from his sprain. Luckily, she catches him just in time. In that moment, Sai realizes she can't hide anymore. Deep down, part of her truly wanted Koki to know how she felt, even if only indirectly. Koki continues talking about the guy Sai likes, but she can't bring herself to admit that it's him. Instead, she says the guy she likes doesn't feel the same way. Hearing this, Koki encourages her to tell him anyway. His unusually serious tone makes Sai admit she's afraid it might make things awkward between them. But Koki shakes his head and says that if he gets awkward because of it, then he's not worth it. Sai is taken aback, wondering why Koki cares so much. That's when he confesses that he's been watching her for a long time. Back in elementary school, she was always dependable, so teachers often asked her to help struggling classmates, and he had been one of them. He admits he felt guilty for holding her back. Finally, Koki tells her that even if that guy rejects her, he'll still be there for her. Sai is already on the verge of tears when Koki's mother suddenly walks in. Both of them quickly try to explain, and Koki's mother immediately recognizes Sai from elementary school. Her face lights up as she comments on how much Sai has grown. Koki hurriedly tells his mother to give them space, apologizing to Sai for leaning on her too long. Sai decides to head home, and though Koki offers to walk her out, his injured ankle stops him. So Sai assures him she'll just text when she gets home. Before she leaves, Koki quietly tells her she's gotten much lighter, making her smile. Deep down, she knows her feelings for him have grown too deep to be just friendship, and that forgetting him would only hurt more. While walking home, Sai texts Koki telling him she'll give it a shot. Koki replies that he'll do the same. Though nervous, she looks up at the night sky where a bright star catches her eye and messages her friends that she's finally going to confess to Koki. Their replies are mixed, but Sai feels sure of her decision. Her feelings for him have never faded since elementary school. From that day on, Sai becomes determined to show Koki her best self before confessing. During practice, she focuses harder than ever, and when a stray soccer ball flies her way, she skillfully blocks it with her tennis racket. Her teammates cheer in amazement as Koki rushes over to apologize. She tosses the ball back to him, and he compliments her quick reflexes. Deep down, Sai's heart races, hoping he'll start seeing her in a new light. For now, all she wants is to impress him before revealing the truth. In English class, Sai nearly aces the test while Hisui barely passes. Sai can't help but worry about Koki, knowing English is his weakness. True enough, when she glances his way, he looks gloomy. Then their teacher announces the upcoming English festival, where every class must perform a play entirely in English. When it's time to choose a story, Sai secretly imagines Koki as the prince. Then Mio steps forward and suggests the Wizard of Oz. Since no one has a better idea, the class finally agrees. To everyone's surprise, the teacher hands Yoda the book and assigns him to write the script. Yushin wonders why, but it's obvious. Yoda's one of the smartest in class. He was even chosen once to deliver a speech meant for the top scorer during the entrance ceremony. Still, writing a script overnight is no small task, so Mio offers to help. Yoda declines, confident he can handle it alone. Sai can't help but admire his intelligence. Next, the class focuses on casting. Since Yoda and Sai both scored high on the English test, they're automatically included. Hizui gets the lead role, while Koki lands in major part 2, though he looks nervous because of his weak English. During the vote, Sai is the only one who votes for him, earning sympathetic looks from their classmates. Meanwhile, Yoda uses his privilege as scriptwriter to add a prompter role for both himself and Sai, reasoning that she might not be comfortable on stage. Soon, they begin the read-through. Yushin once again makes everyone uneasy with his over-the-top energy as the lead. Hisui and her partner start their lines but keep forgetting parts, so Yoda helps them remember. While following along, Sai notices how glossy the scripts are and curiously asks about them. Yoda explains that he laminated them so they're water-resistant, joking that they could even double as umbrellas. When it's Koki's turn, he struggles to pronounce even the simplest lines. His classmates exchange unimpressed looks, and Yushin takes the chance to tease him, knowing full well how much Koki struggles with English. Watching him stumble makes Sai feel guilty for voting him into the role. As they pack up, one classmate spots a script left behind. When they open it, Sai immediately notices the pages filled with handwritten pronunciation notes beside every English word. It's Koki's script. Since her tennis club practices near Koki's field, Hisui teasingly suggests Sai return it to him herself, adding a playful wink. In the locker area, Sai runs into Koki and quickly returns his script. Just then, a few classmates pass by joking about his poor English, making Koki's expression drop. Sai knows how hard he's been working, so she reassures him that everything will be fine. Koki admits he feels like he's always relying on her, but Sai smiles and tells him she actually enjoys helping him. Hearing that, Koki suggests they practice some of his lines together, and Sai agrees. They decide to meet on Sunday at a park near their old elementary school. Before leaving, Koki gets called by his clubmates waving goodbye. Sai, left behind, feels her heart flutter. It'll be their first time hanging out alone together. When Sunday arrives, Sai shows up at the park wearing an outfit she spent forever choosing. Looking around, memories from elementary school flood back of all the times she and Koki came here to play. Though she still wants to confess her feelings today, she's focused on helping him out. An hour passes, but Koki still hasn't shown up. Just as worry begins to creep in, rain starts pouring. Remembering Yoda's joke about the laminated scripts, Sai weakly shields herself with it. Suddenly, her phone rings. It's Koki. His voice sounds rushed and apologetic as he says he's on his way. Sai feels guilty, realizing he must be hurrying because of her. Moments later, Koki arrives on his bike, drenched from the rain. Without hesitation, he takes off his jacket and places it over Sai, even though it leaves him completely soaked. When Sai protests, Koki reminds her that they're not kids anymore, and now he wants to protect her too. Hearing that, Sai suddenly feels like a child again. They decide to find shelter, and even though Koki has his bike, he chooses to run beside Sai instead. Deep down, Sai knows they're no longer grade schoolers because she can tell Koki is slowing his pace just to match